One sec. Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here to talk with my dad and my stepmom about episode 7 of Survivor, season 47, Pickle on Blast, our Pickle on Blast. How are you doing today, Dad? Overall thoughts of the episode?
Oh, overall thoughts, the episode is different. Okay, let me just put it that way, different. So yeah, I'm just going to use that one word right now, different. A very interesting episode, I thought. So yeah, I can't wait to get into it because it was a great episode. Well, it was great and it was different. So let me just leave it like
So
that.
we're gonna come to the conclusion as what this different means to you by the end of this pod, correct?
There we go. You're going to find out. Just so stay tuned.
And Sheila is here again. Of course, she's coming back. She is in it for the long haul. Sheila, how are you feeling? Overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts, lots of twists and turns, lots of dynamics. My faves are rising to the top.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I think I know who your faves are, right? Should we guess? Okay, Dad, you guess one, I'll guess the other.
Her faves, I'm going to guess one, Caroline.
Correct?
Caroline?
I say correct. I don't even know what to do.
Caroline and
Genevieve!
Oh, and
my girl.
and Genevieve. Okay.
My girl. So that's where I'm excited about that. And I think Rachel very smart as well. So those are my 3 strong women, I think.
And you know what? I'm loving that though. I love somebody that's strategic. I love women dominating in the game, but not solely relying on let's get a women's alliance together. They are playing the game. I feel like they're as well doing a good job. They're strong. They're gaining numbers, and I'm rooting for them as well.
And they're smart.
Rachel said, "Let's get all the women together." Wasn't it her?
I think it was Tiana, though, wasn't it?
Was it Tiana? But yeah, there's supposed to be an all-girls alliance, right? So apparently there was supposed to be, not.
We'll see.
Right?
We'll see how it unfolds.
But I would say though, Genevieve and Caroline have not fully been pushing that narrative for this whole game so far, you know? Right. Which is kind of what ends up happening. We see Teeny a little bit later on saying that the whole trope of a women's alliance doesn't usually work out. And so we'll see if it works out or not, but I just don't feel like those 3 are fully just leading on women's alliance to get them further.
Well, I thought so that they were until they weren't.
They have their own agendas. I think they're very calculating, and they have their own agendas. I'm just excited if Genevieve and Caroline would create an alliance with those 2 brains, both very strategic. They both are under the radar. That would be great.
Why are you snarling at this idea?
Because I'm a dude. And I'm got to go for a guy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's got to be a guy. So
my top 3 guys then.
Top 3 guys?
Yeah.
As I said, well, number 1, my becoming a favorite of mine is Andy, of course.
I knew actually it was going to be Andy. Andy's your guy. That's true.
He's becoming my guy. And beyond that, if I was going to pick 3, Saul and Gabe. So
those are the 3 guys for sure. I would agree. I'm rooting for them on the male side of things. Absolutely. So I think we have a good cross section of people who we're rooting for in this game.
I would agree. I agree. We've got pretty well everybody covered.
Half the tribe. Dreadful Ruby was agreeing with us, Sheila, with liking Caroline, Genevieve, and Rachel. Yay!
Well, of course.
Kate here says, I got you live. Yes, thank you for joining us live on our Sunday
Kate.
Francis special. So we didn't get to see it, but the new tribe of this merge tribe is called Becca or Bika. Did we hear anything about this tribe or even how to pronounce it? I haven't heard of it.
I don't remember. Do you remember, Sheila?
I think it's Becca.
Becca? Okay.
I went with Becca because I'm remembering Rebecca. So I'm saying, Becca. So that's how I got
Becca.
it.
Okay. It's Becca. They already made the merge now. So we knew that the last tribal that that poor Rome was not going to be making the merge here. So everybody that's on the speech now, I believe it's the final 12, will be making the merge, which is really fun.
But that was at the end. Yeah, they're all in the merge, but I thought the merge already happened, but obviously when they said it's a merge, it wasn't a merge, right? So that's very, very interesting. Everyone thought, okay, we made the merge, but that wasn't the merge.
Oh, Hales. Sorry, Hales says it means bat in Fijian. So, okay, that makes sense. We see like the big bat immunity idol, or the individual immunity idol is the big bat. And so Becca, I guess, if that's how we pronounce it.
But is it Becca or Bika? I mean, can someone let us know if they know whether it's supposed to be Becca or Bika?
I think Jeff said the Becca tribe.
Okay,
he
said Becca.
Okay, so there we go. That's what I mean, my recollection in my head, which is a scary place, is what I'm hearing him say. So
okay, so Becca. Well, let's go with Becca then. Okay.
So right away, Saul calls over Andy to talk about the fact that he wrote his name down. He was the decoy vote here. Andy's not very happy about this. And Saul just gives it to him that it was Sam that told him that's the way to vote, which was a half truth because we know it was Sue that pitched it. And Sam kind of agreed to it and allowed it to happen. How did you feel about Saul just throwing Sam under the bus there for Andy?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, sure, Dad.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, it was weird. It was really weird him trying to convince Andy, number one, that it was Sam, who's Andy's ally, obviously. At least he thought it was his ally. But his excuse was so lame. I mean, Andy obviously didn't believe it. It was a lame excuse that, hey, I put your name down because if we didn't get Rome, then you're going to be the backup. I mean, because obviously he would have left. I mean, it didn't make sense. I mean, Andy did a good job of not blowing up, but it was like almost like when we tell our dog we're going to take her and get a bath for her. And she's not happy. She starts freaking out, right? So it's kind of the same thing with Andy. He looked like, okay, right. Didn't believe it.
No, I agree with the fact that he was like, yeah, Rome might if he played an idol. And he's like, why me? There's other people here that you could choose. Like, why me? And I don't think that Saul did a good job with why him. He should have just said, like, I didn't know who to pick. Your name came up. Nobody said a different name. And so I just did it because I didn't know what else to do or something. It would have been better than like, I wanted you to go home if Rome had an idol. Sheila,
that's
you
pretty
agree
well,
with this too?
that's what he said, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like Saul was just not prepared I don't know what he was thinking, but the easiest thing is that's what they told me to put.
Exactly.
That's what I was told. So, dude, I'm just going by what they said, which takes the heat off him, but it sheds the light on Sam and because now my bro was in on it, so it creates doubt in Andy's mind, but it deflects off Saul. But by him saying, "Yeah, I wrote," because his explanation was exactly what would happen. So I don't have no idea how Andy would possibly feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel better. Thank you. So to save yourself, in case Rome has an idol, I'm choosing you to go home instead.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to feel good about that.
Yeah, it made no sense. It was like, what?
However,
I was confused, but.
However, everything gets fact-checked these days.
Fair.
So if Saul would have told he did tell a little mistruth, would say it was only Sam. However, if he would have said, something different, it would have gotten fact checked, right? So not everybody was in on that hey, it's going to be Andy.
That's true. That is true.
It's true.
Is it true?
Andy was shocked about this, though, but now he's awakened. He's kind of seeing the light here. He does ask Saul if he wants to team up with him. And at this point, he's like, you know what? Let's go for Gata. Let's take out Gata first, which is his original yellow tribe, because he is incensed. He's very upset by the fact that they are so quickly willing to turn on him. So I was thinking at this point that maybe Andy and Sam will actually make up. Like, I was waiting for the moment where Sam would call him over, might be like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't want it to look like we were too close. So I just allowed that to happen. I'm really sorry. I knew that you had the votes and were staying, but I just didn't want people to think we're as close as we were. I just was waiting for that because I feel like Sam has been playing pretty well. He's been wanting to keep Andy in his back pocket. And so I just thought that he would clean up this mess a little bit, but it didn't seem like we had that happen this episode.
No, you're absolutely right on that. That would have been the way to solve that problem, wouldn't it? If he would have went over and said, "Hey, listen, exactly what you said. I mean, that was beautiful what you said."
Well, thank you.
Well, that might still come.
You need to be on the show.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I could, in the past, I think I would do better in the original version of Survivor. I think the 39 days would, yes, it would be really, hard on the body and the elements might be difficult. But I think for me, I need more time with people so that they don't want to vote me out of the game. And so, like, I just don't feel like there's enough time for me to do well in this new era. And I don't really like luck. I want to be able to create my own luck in these games. And it seemed to be leading in more of a luck-based direction.
Well, when we started doing this, you asked me a question. What do I like better? The old way, I forgot, what do you call it? The old era?
Old school?
Or the old school or the new era? And I definitely like the old era better now. I know what I like. This is not, it seems like a game show to me right now.
Totally agree. And yes, seems like this is the direction that Jeff wants to go in. He's very excited by all these trinkets and doodads and bells and whistle, like all these things that he's throwing into the game. But I never really liked playing the game of life where you just move a thing around the board and booby trap and you lose all your money, or I never liked those games. I always wanted a game where I could strategize to win. And
you're a World of Warcraft, right?
I do. Love that. I love Risk. I love any social strategy games or strategy games in general. So yeah, we used to even play a lot of games when we were like growing up, right? We used to play like backgammon was our Christmas game, our holiday game. Like we always like strategy games. We do never play.
Yeah. I still play backgammon, by the way, just so you know, every day.
Every day.
Every single day.
Oh wow! Have you done this today? That's pretty good. It's impressive.
No, I've never missed. I haven't missed a day in the last, I don't know, probably 10 years.
Are you playing against Sheila or against a computer? Or other people?
Computer.
You're not in like a league playing against people?
No, I play with the computer every single day still.
Okay, well maybe I should get on this. What you let me know after what the app is or the site, because I want to play backgammon every day.
Yeah, I just play on my iPad every day.
What I would probably do then, if I was on Survivor, I just create a backgammon game. Like that would be super fun. Like play backgammon like on the beach
or chess, right? Right on. Make a chessboard or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know chess as well as backgammon. But
okay, you got to learn.
Because you played chess with Justin and my brother. I usually played backgammon with Sheila more so. So
yeah, but Angelique's learning chess now too, so you could play with her. That
also,
would be good.
The twins are learning chess. Have you seen them play? Like they're actually pretty good.
Heard.
Pretty good. Like I saw one.
We are thinkers. We are a thinker family.
Yeah, strategies.
I love it. I do love the strategies. So I thought it was hilarious. So when you see Andy in the middle of the night writing in the sand all these names and doing all these equations, I feel like I saw Sam's name is what I could make out. Sheila, could you make out anything else that he was writing in the sand there?
No, I wouldn't. I did not go back and freeze the frame and check it out. So I missed that. But
excuse me?
My big question was, where did he get the light?
Or the light? Well, probably he had a camera person around him. So
yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. Like that would not be a normal thing that you could do on the beach.
Well, the moonlight, maybe the moonlight was bright.
He has this massive light that we can, he's writing in the sand. It's like, okay, it just seemed odd to me, but whatever. But that's just me thinking about it.
I do wonder, with being in the game, like, what do you think about when people are walking away, but they have like a camera crew with them, right? Like yeah. What are we thinking is going on here? Is it just a confessional? Are they looking for an idol? Are they reading a clue? Like, I'm just wondering what people see and like what your thoughts would be going on.
Well, again, old school. I never realized. Well, obviously I realized, but there's cameras there, there's people there. You never felt that because they're there eating, as we talked about, things that we don't eat normally, right? So they really it felt like they had a rough time, and we saw them, get skinny and all of that stuff. So I never thought back then of the cameras around them and there's a whole crew and a whole set, because it just felt like you're in the game. But now it seems so different. Now it really does seem like the camera's there all the time and walking around with them, and you never know, what's going on. Like, there's a camera there, and anyhow, bottom line is, the cameras for me make it like, okay, it doesn't feel like Survivor. I'm sorry, it just doesn't feel like Survivor.
Like you said, a game show instead of kind of like taking a snapshot into these lives of these people on a beach. It's more so, let's follow these people on this adventure that's on this island, and it's a little bit more. What did Gabe say that he wanted to be, like Indiana Jones? Was that what he referred to himself as?
Yeah, he did.
So it's kind of like more following adventures as opposed to people surviving on an island.
It's more of a production. It's more of a production.
Yeah.
And you're always thinking it's like they're following them and they're creating storylines. They're producing the show as they go, which they did before, but it just seems more contrived. And I don't know if that's the right word, but more.
No, I think so, 100%.
I think you got it, because like, how does a cameraman know at what time that Andy's going to be right outside the shelter? Not too far away, drawing this stuff. And obviously the cameraman's got his lights on, and so on and so forth.
That's what got me, was those lights.
And no one can see that the lights are on and Andy's doing something. I mean, if I'm in the show, if I see that, I'm getting up to see what Andy's doing.
Which is what Genevieve seemingly did, right? Shortly after, we see Genevieve go and sit down beside him on the log and kind of decides like, hey, I just lost my number one. You look like you're a little bit on the outs with your original yellow tribe here. Maybe I need to acquire a new ally. And it looks like the two of them are coming together to potentially work together. Sheila, you're smiling and nodding. You like this pairing.
Well, Genevieve and Rome were tight, but she kind of had Rome's number. She was gunning for him, and he got eliminated, and she had no dirt on her hands, but it was fit perfectly in with where she was going, because she was kind of unsure about him at that point. Now she's kind of aligning with Andy. She's so smart, because Andy's kind of feeling lost a little bit out. He's feels betrayed by his little alliance, and he's looking for greener pasture right now, and she could be a good haven for him.
I agree. I agree with that. But what I thought was interesting, I don't even know if you guys caught this, I'm not sure if you caught it, is when she said, she lost her number one.
Yeah.
So that just stuck out to me, that she really did feel like Rome was her number one. And she, he ended up getting voted out, obviously. And I believe she voted for him to go out, right?
Yeah, everybody voted for him except for Saul and Sue, and obviously Rome. And so, I think she realized that she couldn't fight for him to stay. And so she kind of had to let
so that was I'm going to give it to you guys. That was very, very smart of Genevieve to go that route, because I felt like she turned on him, but it doesn't seem like she actually turned on him, but she faked it pretty good to get me.
Well, Andy says, I have a vision. And then he never really laid out a vision. He's like, sneak attack. I was like, okay, can you lay out what the sneak attack is? I mean, I think if I read between the lines, it's them going after Gata. But he didn't really say what the sneak attack was. And I want to hear him lay out this plan, this vision that he has for the two of them to get further into the game.
Yeah, that takes me back to the Flintstones. Sorry, I'm going back. I'm going back many years when Fred had a plan. He'd go to Barney and they'd whisper the plan on what they're going to do, but we would never know what they're going to do. We had to wait to see what they're going to do. And that was every time in the Flintstones they did that, right? Every single time.
You're completely dating yourself, babe. I mean, most people
I watched a lot of the Flintstones, okay? I remember, but I don't necessarily remember that being a trope on how they laid out their episodes. So it's like,
that was a thing every single show.
The big plan, we never hear about it until it actually happens. Okay, so maybe they're going into this trope here, and we'll find out what the master plan is later on, maybe at the end of the season, a couple episodes from now. Okay, I'm going to keep my eyes open for that.
Production.
So as the morning of the merge, we see Genevie walk over with tree mail. That's something that I do like from old school that they haven't really been using that much in the new era. We used to be excited to be like, what did tree mail say? And like, it has like some limerick that they have to decode by what the challenge is going to be. And so I do like that we get to see a little bit of that this season because they haven't really been using tree mail that much.
Yeah, it's not like the first time. Like, what made them even know that there was tree mail? Because I didn't even know they were doing that anymore. Like, that's just suddenly random out of nowhere. She comes with tree mail. We haven't heard about.
They
have we heard
always
tree mail at all?
do it, but they don't show it. I think is the
okay.
what's been going on because
All right.
every once in a while we do see tree mail or we got tree mail, but I think that they get it daily or a couple times a day or whatever, however many times, and they just don't show it. They just don't feel it necessary, I guess. But I do. I like it.
I like do too. Mail.
So this is where the moment when we're talking about with the potentially having a women's alliance. So I'm not sure who started it. I would have to rewind and watch. But Rachel, Tiana, and Sierra are thinking about coming together in a women's alliance. Obviously, Tiana's really leaning into this. Tiana says Gabe, and I was like, Tiana, just like chill about Gabe, please. She feels like she cannot trust him, but I know that she probably feels safe with like, oh, like I have these women, they all seem to want to work with me. Like we have like a male person that we can just throw out there right now. So I can understand her thought process a little bit, but sometimes you want to let other people divulge the plan before you are the one that's divulging the plan, because sometimes it's not a good look. And I was worried for Tiana when she immediately threw out Gabe right away. You're nodding, Sheila.
Yeah, I mean, Tiana she's too. My opinion is that Tiana was just too much Gabe. I mean, look what she did at the at that one little community reward challenge, and she's just too much out there with him. She's just putting a huge target on her back. And I have no idea how she's going to unravel that because I guess she feels comfortable with the girls because he's a dude and like, let's get the bros out. I get it. But I feel she's just pushing too hard.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No, I think she's butthurt. I really believe she's butthurt from the first time she thought that her and Gabe were tight. And when Gabe went to Kyle and said to Kyle, hey, let's get out Tiana. And then Kyle went directly to Tiana and say, hey, Gabe said your name. I think she's butthurt from that and has not recovered from that. She's wants to get him out because he wanted to get her out. And she's still going on that right now, I believe. So, I mean, I think that's driven her all along through this to say Gabe, because she's butthurt. But she's not thinking strategy. Hey, we're all Tuku. Let's stay together. She's not thinking that at all.
No, I totally agree that was kind of the moment where she lost her trust for Gabe. I wish that she had used it as an opportunity to be like, hey, like, let's like start and leave. Like, let's work together. Like, just do some sort. Wait, what's the face for?
I'm saying my face is like she did do that, but she was fake. She did go to
she
Gabe
didn't do it well. She did not do it well.
That was lame.
She didn't do it truthfully.
She didn't do it sincerely.
Exactly.
She was not sincere in her
not from the heart.
She's not like, let's hug. And I don't know if Gabe would have accepted it anyways, but it wasn't like, let's hug and, let's hug and make up and, let's forget about that. There's my snap. Let's forget about that from this point forward.
Diana here is saying, hi, everyone. I find it interesting that the two, well, I'll say air crew, because Tiana is not a pilot. She would like to be a pilot, react the same way when their name is thrown out there. So Tiana, won't let it go. And seems like Sue won't let it go as well with Kyle. We haven't had that come up yet in a little while, but I could see her easily being like, he said my name, Kyle, he's got to go next. Like, I can see Sue getting back on that train for sure.
But it's the same with Andy. Andy now wants to go after Gada because he feels like they, disrespected him. But, I think there's value in keeping your tribe numbers solid because that's gives you a nucleus of people that have your back. So I don't know. I think people are get their emotions are taking over, and the strategy is not. I think you have to be strategic.
Well, in one of the exit interviews with, spoiler alert, with Tiana, she mentions that she really had no idea that, that Sue and Caroline were, like they had anything going on with Gabe. She was completely oblivious to that. And she wasn't as perceptive, I think, as to what was going on as we would have hoped for her to be. And so this is kind of why she was making so many mistakes, because she really thought that they were with her. And so, yeah, that's kind of why she's speaking out of turn here and not realizing how it was actually digging her own grave.
Oh, yeah.
Read the room, read the room.
That was a blunder. That was a blunder.
I mean you gotta keep
unfortunately, with Sue, you can't tell whether she's upset or not, right? So I can see the I didn't say that. You really can't tell.
The old broad can say it. Her face doesn't move, so you have no idea what she's thinking. All like...
Sheila.
And Sue, if you're watching Sue, I'm not being disparaging. It's just that's a fact.
Well, that's what we see. Yeah.
So day 13 rolls around, and that's another thing too. Like all this it's only day 13. Like who cares? It's not that long. Not even 2 weeks yet. But in the new era, we're I guess we're half the way through the game.
Hey, look at this. Your brother just did 21 days of only drinking water, no food for 21 days.
So he finished it? I haven't heard it.
He's done. But he did 21 days of just drinking water water and tea for 21 days.
Maybe he's practicing for Survivor.
Would he go on Survivor? He might.
I mean, if he can do 21 days fasting, he can do Survivor. He's already
not Survivor anymore. It's not like you're not out there surviving. You're out there playing a game show. Come on.
I'm just saying, maybe it's conditioning.
It's not Survivor anymore. Outlast. I mean, everyone can outlast, in this now. So, yeah, but I agree with you. Maybe, hey, he would do good. He'd be able to definitely outlast if he could do that. Anyhow, that's a little sidebar there for our family. So you know what's going on.
To know that 13 days of getting food pretty much every other day, or an opportunity to get some food every other day. Justin can handle it, I guess.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of like mind over matter at that point. Like you'd probably be starving for the first 3 days, and then after that, it's kind of like I think you.
Well, that's exactly what he said. I think he said the first week he was hungry, and then after that, he was able to go do laps around the block.
Well, I remember I did like a juice fast once, and it was just like I got like different juices, like cold pressed juices. So one would be like beets and stuff like that, and one would be all like greens. And I did it for like 2 weeks, and it wasn't that hard. Maybe the first 2 or 3 days was like, oh, I would like some different consistency in my mouth. I'd like to chew. But then after that, I was kind of like looking forward to my juices and be like, oh, what juice do I have today? But other than that, I was fine. So
since you brought that up, let me finish our story on that. Sheila and I's story. So we watched some show on Netflix that talked about juicing and how if you juice, super healthy. And as you know, we've always had juicers in the house, right?
Yep,
so we're always
juice every morning. We got a shake
every single morning.
Shake.
But we started juicing. I started juicing because in this show, I think it was something about forks. There was in Netflix. There was something about forks. Was the name of the show.
Forks
Over Knives, I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember something like that. So, but it was you had to go 60 days without just having juices every single day, just juice. And so I said, I'm going to do it, right? So I'm definitely going to do this juicing thing. So I get started, and I don't think Sheila. Did you start at that? No, Sheila didn't start.
No, I didn't start. I was the juicer.
Yes,
I was the juicer, and it was a production. But we juiced like multiple times a day, and yeah, I joined you, I think like 10 days in or something. Or
no, you joined me on day 30.
Okay, so then I did
a month.
A month.
She did 30 days.
Yeah, and then I was basically like non-existent at that point. So I had to start eating.
You would eat away.
I literally like disappeared.
And
I was like a head and like a spine, and that was it. There was nothing more. So at that point, 30 days later, I said, I think I have to eat now.
Yeah, eating some food. Wait, when did you guys do this?
2012.
Okay, a while ago. I kind of want to. I think I want to do one now, though. I've been inspired, maybe to prep my body for, Survivor.
Yeah, I lost 40 pounds doing it. So
40 pounds. I
40
gues 2
pounds
months
at the
of
time.
just juice.
Yeah, 40 pounds at the time.
But,
But I gained 10
it's
back
not
the
a-
first
it's
day
not a weight loss.
after the juicing.
Oh
I
my
gained
gosh.
10 pounds in the first day.
Yeah, I mean, if you plan on doing that for the rest of your life, it's lifestyle and that's your weight. But if it's juice and then I'm going to go back to normal, then
You're gonna gain it back.
Anyhow, back to the show.
Anyway.
So we get to all, everybody, the merch tribe is at the mat talking to Jeff, and Jeff asks Andy how the Rome vote went down. And he basically talks about the fact that he was somebody that sunk his game and everybody kind of came together in a consensus to vote him out of the game. And so now it's really, Survivor's really starting because they're all in the same tribe. They don't necessarily have a consensus vote. And we're going to see what happens. How'd you feel, Sheila, about Andy? He's just up there. He's so gregarious about these votes and how things are going down.
Andy's hilarious, but Andy's very strategic. So Andy's very smart. I mean,
Yes.
there's a renewed sense of respect for him based after that first implosion on day one, which I swear part of me thinks it was part of his plan. But anyway, we'll get down to that if he's in doing his plea, if he's one of the final three. But yeah, he's I think that they've set us up. Production has set us up for this next episode where I think we're going to see, Andy and Genevieve are kind of aligning. We're going to see Andy's kind of plan. He's forming a plan, and it should be interesting, I think. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I hope we're right because I want Andy to stay around for a while. So I hope next
don't
week.
feel like he's going anywhere.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, thank you.
He's got Genevieve now. Come on.
Was that like a little giveaway?
No. That was just a genuine. I mean, I've been saying this for the whole time that I'm feeling right now the final three. Like, I feel like Genevieve is going to get there. I feel like Andy's going to get there. And then the other two people, like, I feel like Teeny might get into the top 5. Not sure if she'll shit on the final tribal council or not. Caroline is kind of emerging here as well as someone I see going far. And then who else do I think I could see down the line? I don't know if I see Rachel there. We'll say those 4 people as I can see going far into the game.
Well, I got to go with you because do people know that you're psychic? Do they know that?
Yeah, I'm called, for Big Brother stuff, they call me the Oracle because I've had some very interesting things happen. So
yeah, so when you look up like that and you say, this is what you see, I'm starting to be, okay, maybe I need to go with what you say.
You're like, what are you seeing up there? What's up there?
What's the psychic stuff that you're doing here? Like,
Hey, there's some strong. I mean, there's Kyle, there's Gabe, there's Sam, Saul. I mean, there's some.
Saul could actually get there because he's having a little bit of an emergence as well.
Yes.
With the fact that it just seems like he was so on the outs before at the beginning, like on his original tribe, and now he seemed to like, oh, maybe he's going to have a number here with Andy, and he's going to be able to forge his own path here. I think a little bit, so I could see Saul doing better, like well in the game.
Yeah, I got to jump in here because I'm just thinking about the fact that with Saul, I don't know if it's Saul or Saul.
Solomon.
But Solomon? Okay, so with Saul, what I find interesting there is that when Saul and Andy were talking, Andy says, okay, that's fine, but you owe me one.
Yeah, so I mentioned that.
You owe me one. and not only that, though, now Andy's gone with Genevieve and said, hey, let's get together. Genevieve has got Saul. I believe she's got an alliance, somewhat of an alliance with Saul because she went out there at that time and spoke to Saul and said, this is what, or Saul talked to Genevieve, and they talk about what Rome was doing. So I think that there's something there.
For sure.
Seriously, but I think Andy's controlling it under the table here. I think his the velvet hammer here, his smooth, and his controlling this whole thing, man.
Velvet hammer. I've never heard of that.
Oh, he is good. He is good.
So Alfie here says it seemed like Andy was strong arming Saul at the end of that conversation. Like, you better do XYZ and get my trust back. Made me a bit nervous because I'd like to see them actually work together. Yeah, I did have a little bit of like my stomach clenched a little bit. I was like, oh, Andy, just like have a little bit more finesse here. But I didn't feel like he had the smooth velvet hammer at that point.
It wasn't the velvet hammer.
It wasn't the velvet hammer.
It was the Godfather horse head in the bed.
Speaking of, I'm listening to Al Pacino's his memoirs, and he's actually narrating the whole thing. It's so fascinating. Like, I feel like I am like, I'm like hanging out with him and he's telling me his life story. It's really cool to listen to. So right now we're at The Godfather.
Audible?
Yeah, I have it on. I can send it to you actually. Yeah.
No, I got Audible, so I'll get it.
Yeah, no, it's so good so far. And right now we're at where he's filming The Godfather. So
wonderful.
So good.
Wonderful. Great series, those three. That was wonderful.
Oh my God. I love The Godfather, but B, like hearing him talk about his life story, like it feels like it's such an expensive like opportunity. Like, I feel like we're just getting so much gold for, I don't know, like I got a free Audible credit. Like, it's crazy. So
what I thought was interesting, is it a free Audible?
Well, I get credits every month, so
yeah, me too. But was it an original, or was it one that you had to use your credit for?
I had a bunch of credits. I just used my credit, and it allowed me. But I don't know what the price was. Maybe $40.
No, we have that too. I got a bunch of credits too, so we'll definitely listen to that and be there with you as you're listening to that. Because because one of the things that I saw the other day on YouTube was that they showed the incomes that Al Pacino made over the years from his first movie right through. And you wouldn't believe it, but for The Godfather, they didn't make a whole lot of money at all.
No. Well, like he talks about when he first started getting recognized after he's like, well, I'm still like working at all, like, working somewhere that was not, he didn't understand why he was famous because he did this movie that came out that was really popular. Like he wasn't rich yet at all.
No, he didn't make a lot of money into The Godfather at all, which that surprised me. But anyhow,
when you hear his life story, you're like, oh, I can't wait. It was actually Anna was that one that told me to listen to it. So Anna's listening to
Oh,
that's
great.
Oh, is she? Okay, great.
Yes, we should all get on it. Okay, so Kyle has to give back the necklace, the bat necklace. People think that it's really ugly. Do you guys think that necklace is ugly? Is it
perfect for Halloween?
Yeah, good week for it. And I guess if they're
about it, otherwise, it's not very. I mean, some of them have been amazing. Some of the immunity aisles are like, I want to take this home with me.
Yeah,
but that one I would leave on the beach.
You wouldn't have it as like a memento?
You'd be, I don't want this. I'm going to give it to somebody else.
Yeah. It's just not that attractive. It's not. I mean, they could have come up with something better. I mean, Angelique, who's a phenomenal designer, she could have created something amazing. Why? That's just my opinion.
That's true. I mean, I don't know who they got on that one, but B team, I would say. So for this challenge, they're going to need balance, concentration, and endurance. They're going to be standing on a narrow beam with a pole over their head with a ball at the end on a plate. Now, I was like, okay, they're going to just have everybody do this all together because they're merged now. No. Jeff wants to cut them into two tribes again by a random rock draw. So they're going to be competing in two separate teams on this merged tribe. Dad, how do you feel about this? Since now it seems like you are an old school favorer over this new school vibe. Like, it's a merge. Like, why are we going into two tribes again?
That's exactly what I felt about that. Why would they? Everyone thought it was a merge. It was done. Now they're in two tribes again. And, the worst part about it is that, hey, guess what, guys? We're going to do this event or do this challenge, and one of you are not going to make it to the merge, or not. One of you are going to one of you not going to make it to the jury. And he's just such an emphasis on that. But the thing that I didn't like about that, was it that challenge? That challenge, they split it up into 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, but they drew rocks for that.
Yep.
I mean, rocks, when you draw rocks, it's just, you're leaving your fate to a bunch of rocks, right? And like, like a person that could be a front runner in this thing, all of a sudden's on a really weird, crappy team, could end up losing out and be out of the game because of the fact that they draw the wrong color rocks at that point. I mean, they should do something, I think, I don't know what, but something different than leaving it to fate at that point on where you're going to land, where you're going to end up, and what your ending result's going to be. So that's, it definitely is not outplay. There's no outplaying in that.
No, it's out like cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of my biggest plights about this new era is that Jeff loves this idea of chance. He even says it on the commercial break throughout this challenge at some point. He's like, the rock draw. Everything's left to chance. And it's like, we hate that, actually. Like, I hate everything being left to chance. It's $1 million. Like, chance, you're gonna leave it up to chance, and you think that's amazing. And I have to agree, the fact that he's so excited about somebody is not going to be able to make the jury. They made it to merge, but they're not going to make it to jury because of a rock draw. I think it's awful, honestly. It made me really upset. Sheila, you're not in. You didn't like it either?
I agree, and I think that you can it just breaks down the whole aspect. Why bother? Why strategize? Because you could be working really hard and have everything perfectly aligned, and and there's always going to be something, because if you win the reward or not, or this or that, or if someone has to go on an adventure or whatever, journey, whatever they call it. But when it's left to chance like that, it's just, what's the point? You can't outplay. You can't outplay that. The way those rocks formed, like the way they fell and the way the teams were formed. I mean, worst possible for Rachel, worst possible scenario. It was just like shitty.
It's so
I'm allowed
shitty.
to say that.
Yeah, sure.
Say whatever you want.
It was shitty. Like, it's shitty. Like, damn, Jeff. Like, damn. They're starving. They're struggling. Give them something. Like, don't take that away from them. Don't take their strategy away from them. Anyway.
Well, the worst part about that was that, hey, it's the merge, right? So everyone thinks it's the merge. What happens? Yeah. What used to happen normally at the merge? We get to eat. It's a feast. But now they're going to the merge. They're doing this challenge. And half of them don't get to eat.
I know.
So they're here holding this thing above their head, knowing that half of them, want to eat. I mean, he's already said that, hey, when you win this challenge, you're going to get ribs. You're going to get corn
baby
on the
back
cob.
Ribs.
Baby back ribs, corn on the cob. You're going to get potato salad. Yep. You're going to be able to have beer or soda. So obviously, it's like Pavlov's dog. You tell everybody that you're going to be able to get that. I'm sure they're standing there and they're drooling while they're doing that because they're all hungry. And they're not going to get a chance. Half of them are not going to get a chance to eat. I mean, that to me was really, in a way, I don't want to say cruel, but yeah, cruel.
I think he likes the torturing of them. I think he feels like because it's not 39 days anymore, that he needs to torture them in order to make it seem like they are surviving or that it's really difficult, really hard. I think he thinks it equals out this way. So people are saying, though, poor Gabe is the only player that hasn't gone on a food reward yet. So he definitely was salivating, I'm sure.
He's lost a lot of weight, too. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, he did.
He has lost some weight.
Skinny.
Yeah, he's lost some weight.
So, okay, the winner. So how this is going to go down. So they're going to be drawing rocks. There's going to be 2 teams. I believe it was blue and yellow. The winner, the last person standing on the first losing team basically gets immunity. And then the team that has the most people on the longest are going to be the winning team. So I automatically thought, though, that's weird that someone that doesn't outlast everyone, it still gets immunity. Like they're not the best. They're just the best of the worst. And then say, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm totally with you. Totally
I just thought it was weird that on the losing tribe, the person that was there the longest still gets immunity, but they don't even beat out anybody from the winning tribe. Like, I just thought with these tribes being so small, that's like so much power just to outlast 5 people instead of outlasting 11 people or 10 people even, you know? So
Sheila, do you have a comment on that? Because I definitely want to say, I mean, when do you get immunity for coming in third?
Exactly. I was thinking like what it would make sense is if he didn't get to a first or second place, whatever, that he would just, nobody would get immunity on the losing tribe.
He
Like,
just gets to eat.
Oh, maybe.
He just gets to eat with them, right?
No, he doesn't get to eat, like, actually
he
now.
didn't get, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
but then he wouldn't be with the losing tribe to strategize before going to tribals, so that wouldn't be great. Because he wouldn't have immunity at that point. So, yeah, he was third. He shouldn't have won anything. So the tribes are broken down. So the blue tribe is Genevieve, Sierra, Teeny, Saul, Andy, and Sam. So it was basically 3 and 3, I believe. So yeah, Andy, Sierra, and Sam were from original Gata, and then Genevieve, Teeny, and who's the last person? I'm missing. I guess it was Saul. Saul, yeah. If I didn't say him yet, was Saul?
Well, the yellow team was Genevieve, Sierra, Andy, Sam, Teeny, and Saul. Blue team was Rachel, Caroline, Sue, Tiana, Gabe, and Kyle.
Correct. And so, yeah, poor yellow tribe here for Rachel, because you got the full 5 Tuku and Rachel there. And like you said, Sheila, before, numbers game, right? You want to keep your numbers. Why? Rachel kind of drew the bad rock. She's between a rock and a hard place here. I would be really upset that I've made it all the way onto Survivor. You know, it's a grueling process to get on the actual season, and then because you got swapped or rock screwed, you have a really high potential of going home. Yeah, you're nodding, Sheila.
Oh yeah, I mean, I felt for her. Like, it looked so dismal, you know, but there is always that other angle. There's always that other perspective. And, you know, the 5 Tuku kind of realized, hey, there's another perspective here. The obvious choice is Rachel. We don't have to eat our own, but, you know, they looked at a different perspective. So there's always a different angle of looking at things. So.
No, I don't know if it was you that said this, Sheila, or not, or where
if
I heard this.
If it's smart, I said it.
What?
Of course it was smart. That's why I think it was you.
Oh, nice. Good recovery. Yeah.
There's no recovery. I didn't have to recover from anything. But sure. with what you said, though, I totally agree with you, because, hey, let's think about this. If they, stayed Tuku strong and voted out Rachel, then it would look like they've got an alliance. And then I don't know who said this, but then they would have been picked off maybe one by one.
Tiana originally said it, and Gabe also said it in different ways.
Okay.
At this point, though, I was like, looks bad for Rachel, but probably Tiana will be thrown under the bus unless she wins. I just didn't feel like Tiana was going to be making out of this episode. Like, maybe it was my oracle nature, my prophecy here, but I still didn't think it was that bad for Rachel. I was like, I don't know. I just feel like Tiana is she's gonna take a bullet here. She's not gonna.
I agree. On the other side of that, though, is that if they had the all-girl alliance and they would have stuck with the girl alliance at that point, then that would have been, basically brought out into the open, and all the Tuku men at that point would know. Well, 2 of them, I think. How many is there? 2, I think, is left. They would have known, or when they went back, they would have known that there was actually an all-girl alliance that was formed. So, tricky part of that tribal.
The thing is, though, is that the natural way the game was going to evolve, we never got to see it, right? So, yes, I don't think that Tiana should have maybe said anything yet about having the All-Girls Alliance, but she did plant that seed, and if they were all going to Tribal Council and all having the opportunity to vote and all being able to strategize and see what's going to be in their best interest, Tiana might have been able to get the votes on Gabe here, because he would have been somebody that like, ooh, he could be winning individual immunity. He's a strong guy. Like, let's go for him. We have the numbers. Like, things might have played out differently, but because of this rock draw, and it was now 2 coups altogether, all the work that she did, it was for nothing. Because it wasn't for the dynamic of her going back basically to her old Tuku tribe.
Yeah. Agreed. So 100% agree.
How many are left? So before 12. That happened, was it 13 or 12?
12.
It was 12. So it's 6 guys and 6 girls at this point.
Is it? 1, 2.
Yeah, I just kind of looked at it.
4, 5, 6.
I thought 7. The girls had 1.
5.
What's that?
7 and 5.
7 and 5. What did I miss?
Sierra, Teeny, Rachel, Caroline, Sue, Tiana. Guys, Saul, Andy, Sam, Kyle, Gabe.
So it's 6-5 now. The girls are still dominant numbers wise.
Correct. Yes. Correct. So I'm just talking about the challenge a little bit. Go ahead.
No, that's cool. Because you don't want to eat your own, right? So that's all I'm thinking here is that, the guys are in a position right now to get picked off easily. Yeah. Easily. Yeah.
So they probably were thinking that. They probably didn't show it, but they were probably like, no, we don't want to get a guy out because it's going to be then 7-4. And like, that's definitely not good for
I've got to confess. I did see it. So there was a secret episode or something.
Oh,
secret scenes.
I didn't see this. I was creating a segment for Sheila, but is it you that's going to have the secret sleuthing segment? Hold on.
Actually, I don't think you saw it as well, Sheila. But
no, I did not. I mean, David definitely has this buttoned up.
I have my sources.
Okay, let's hear it.
No, there was two scenes. One that showed, David's deducing. It's all about deduction here, definitely. But no, Rachel. Yeah, you call me David, G Daddy.
Okay, well, I was trying to make it the alliteration.
I'm looking at that David. Who's David on this show?
Okay.
G Daddy. In any case, Rachel, when she got the 2 scenes that I saw was when Rachel got that secret, whatever that thing that Saul passed her, and we haven't gotten to that yet, so we don't have to talk about that yet. Let's wait. Let's wait until we get to that part, and I can tell you my secret scenes.
But so the other secret scene you haven't, it hasn't happened yet as well?
Well, the other one might have happened. So let me talk about the second part. The second part was where Gabe went around to all the, thank you very much. Where Gabe went around to all of the men and basically said, hey, we're in a position here right now where they can pick us off one by one. And he went to all of them one at a time, and he pled the case that we're in a vulnerable position right now. And so he was trying to keep the men together. Let's not vote out any men, because if we vote out any men, then we're definitely going to be in a leveraged losing position. So that was the scene that I saw. The second part of that 2-scene thing that was, I guess, deleted or secret scenes. I don't know where that came from, but that's what I saw or read. Anyhow.
Well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You definitely don't want to be down 7-4. It just wouldn't make any sense for the women not to stick together at this point, likely. So I think it's definitely smart for Gabe to have had one-on-one discussions with all the men, being like, hey, let's keep that in the back of our mind. Let's not let them have such a huge majority over us here, and make it easy for them to just pick us off. So I think that's smart. I wish that they showed it to us, though, and not make it a secret scene.
It was just for me.
It's for you, so you can have a segment. So with the challenge, Andy is out first, then Rachel. They have to do these live transitions where they're going down to different smaller portions of the beam that they're standing on, while keeping the pole over their head. So that would be really painful on the shoulders and the like the arms. Like that would suck. I would not enjoy doing that one at all. Sheila, you'd probably be good at it, though, right?
I'd be good at it.
I can see.
Mind over matter.
Sheila, I can get you on Survivor. I think that you need to do it.
Oh no, it would be a train wreck. I mean, seriously, come on.
Oh, would you lie about your age?
I don't know. I don't care.
Sheila's 45. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're all 45.
Everybody's
Anyone over
45.
50 is 45.
I'm 45.
We're all
Me
45.
too.
But no, I don't care. I'm not like the challenges. I could be good at some. I'd be good at the puzzles. I'd be good at the more cerebral kind of stuff. But some of this, I don't know. Maybe I'd be fine.
I think you'd be loyal. I think people know that
I'm not a camper, okay? I like the comforts. And that's
But I think you could hack it though. Like you might not enjoy it, but I think you could get through it.
I mean that part, yeah. I'm definitely hardy. I'm old, that's easy, but I don't know. I just don't like being unshowered and sandy all the time.
It's the sandy. I hate the sand.
I hate the sand. Like in all the cracks and crevices, the sand. No.
Cracks and crevices.
Not interested. I mean, I watch them and then like the mud and the wood chips, like no.
However, we're losing sight on why you're doing it for $1 million.
Yeah, I know. And then I'm thinking $1 million. Okay, well.
$1 million. That's like 26 days to win $1 million. That's like pretty good odds.
I know. What am I saying? That's crazy. Of course I would do it.
Are we? So when I come for Christmas, should we film your video?
Are you coming?
I think so. I'll see what days off I can get. But likely I'll come for a few days maybe.
Okay,
film the video. What am I supposed to do? Jump off the roof? I'm fearless. Like
no, you're gonna be outside on the deck for Christmas.
Sleeping?
Yeah, she's gonna be on the deck in the house. We'll keep her outside.
We're not gonna feed you.
Surviving. I'm surviving.
Yeah, there's no food.
I'm like the dog gets to go inside, and I have to be outside. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll create challenges for you so that if you pass the challenges, you can come in for Christmas dinner.
You know what? I know some people that make some of these survivor puzzles. So you'll sleep outside on the deck, and we'll get some puzzles for you to do for your audition video.
Yeah, and the outdoor fireplace is my fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we got the fire pit and we got the fireplace outside, so either one, right?
And
if you don't complete the puzzle, then no fire for you.
You can take my flint. Don't take my flint.
We take back the fire starter.
Exactly. Like, nope. Sorry, Sheila.
You guys are vicious.
Hey, you've got to show that you can do it.
It's for the video. Okay, so Hales is saying here that Christian Hubicki, he was on David versus Goliath season of Survivor. I believe he's a mathematician, or he's just like, I don't know, super smart genius guy. And he's always running the numbers on the odds of different things that happen within the game. And so Hales is reminding us here that Christian ran the numbers, and it was the second least likely outcome of less than 1%. I believe I saw that it was 0.09% actually. Like it was like a very low percentage for the two teams to shake out this way, where there was all the 5 members of Tuku landing on that same tribe.
Oh my gosh.
Same team.
You're
so
kidding.
Very unlikely that this would happen. Second to least likely outcome.
Wow, this Christian guy is smart. I mean,
he's really smart. He's
so really smart. Can't keep up with like how he figured that out. But
I saw the chart. He basically he had like to this tribe, to this tribe, how like often like that would be able to come up, and so he just kind of tallied it that way. I can't remember how he actually did it, but you just saw the different combinations, and then I don't know if he actually did a simulator or not, and like just like through it, maybe kill.
Yeah, he needs to come to Vegas and play some of our games.
Yeah.
Only second to all 5 Tuku and 1 Lavo. Okay, yeah, of course it's gonna be. That would be less likely because there's 1 less Lavo. So there's 4 Gata, 3 Lavo, and so like that's the other the most least likely.
I got a question for you. I almost call you Angelique.
I heard Angelique. I was like, yeah.
Angelique's on a plane flying here right now, so that's why.
All the kids before he gets the right one. Don't worry.
Oh,
she's coming today for business. So she's going to be in here today for business, for business. But in any case, how do we get more people like Hale to participate? Because I love hearing the comments from the participants. How does that happen? What
like
do
the
they
people
have
in the
to
chat?
Yeah, what has to happen? I'd love to hear more from them personally.
Well, we have 62 people that are watching live right now, and so all they have to do is comment in the chat. So
and ask them questions.
or I can ask questions. Do you have a question
No,
for
no,
somebody in the
I
chat?
think that would be great to get. Like, I mean,
Not yet.
I love what Hale did there, and the people that are participating. I love it. I mean, it really makes me feel good to have more people participating and getting their thoughts here. So, just a thought of mine.
Other perspectives.
For
Yes.
me, so you were asking me like before we started doing this if we were pre-recording everything. And I said, well, I prefer to go live because then we have the opportunity to have the participation with people in the chat. So it's when people are live watching us as we're talking, they are able to type away and participate, asking questions or answering questions or giving insights and whatnot. So
Can we ask them real quickly?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people prefer that participating more? Can I say, like, if they don't have to pay for this, right? To participate, right?
Mhm.
So could we ask the participants who are actually watching, would it be great if we left more time for, their perspectives to come in? Yeah, I mean,
Sure, we could
anyone
say
comment on that?
the end, like, or at any point, if like there's any comments or questions, we'd be taking them from the audience.
Oh, so it drags it on too long then if you've got people
I didn't
interjecting
say
throughout the
that.
show? Oh, okay. No,
Well,
because you
like
said at the
as
end.
it comes up, you can't see in your perspective like all the comments.
I can't see from what I'm looking at, no.
Oh, okay. So you can actually see what people are saying. Like, I don't necessarily bring all of them up just because sometimes it will take time to bring comments
Oh,
up. But if
okay.
you notice, you probably have it set on private chat. But if you put on, I think
Oh yeah, I
comments
see
is the
it now.
other
Oh,
panel, you can
Hello,
now I
see.
see it.
everyone.
So you
I
can
never
see.
saw that. That's like the whole nother world. Hi
It can be
guys. Now I
distracting.
see everyone. There's life out there. I feel like I just like found a new world.
So this is with I believe people probably are all on. You could see with their little avatar that they're on YouTube. So when they're watching the stream on YouTube, there has a chat box that they can actually type into the chat their comments and questions live while they're. It's like a 5-second delay or something
I
like
love
that.
it. I love it. I
Oh,
love it. We want
okay. That's great.
participation.
So
Yeah,
you can
that's
see
awesome.
what they're saying. I'm not only bringing up some comments or things that are relevant or
Hi.
pertinent, but but yes, it is there, so you can see what is being said. In their own, they kind of have their own little community as well. People will
Oh,
chat within the lives and maybe have discussions amongst each other in the lives. But Sheila, when you were commenting before, like I
Yeah.
would see you in this little area, and then I could bring your comment up onto the screen.
okay.
I
Now I'm
I
starting
thought
to get it.
I didn't know we could see it. I had it on private chat. So this is great. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
lives are great. This is great. I mean, as long as you don't comment on my white beard or anything like that, I'm all good.
I like your white beard. It looks
Yeah.
intelligent, wise,
Yeah, that's
very
me.
wise. Okay, so basically, by the end of this challenge, Teeny and Genevieve are the last two standing for the blue team. Kyle was the last person standing for the yellow team, and so he gets immunity. Strange. And then the blue team is going to be getting like you said, potato salad, baby back ribs, corn on the cobs, beer, and soft drinks. So they get a feast. Teeny and Sam, says Hale, have been eaten all 3 times. So we saw Teeny with her red wine. She was enjoying that. And so they've been on all 3 rewards, both of them. So they're pretty lucky. Not hungry
Seems
at all.
like she enjoys her red wine, doesn't she?
Yeah, she definitely. I definitely see that she likes it a lot. Getting a little tipsy and smiley. So Carolyn was talking. I guess this was at the feast that Rachel is an easy vote here, but it might not be this. Oh, sorry, that's on when they get to their beach. That Caroline says that Rachel is the easy vote, but it may not be the smartest vote. And so this is where we're seeing like Carolyn not necessarily wanting to go with what seems like it's easy. She wants to make a strategic decision that's going to better position her in the game. It's your girl, Sheila. You're nodding because she's emerging as being a social or a strategic mastermind.
Exactly. Like what is her job? It's the strategic consultant. Like it's pretty obvious that's how she thinks, that her brain works in that way. But yeah, and she's very clever the way. I think it was Tiana. Was it Tiana she was talking to? Who is she back and forth where they were like brainstorming,
Tiana.
where they were, and so she was drawing stuff out of Tiana, but she wasn't necessarily divulging. Yeah, I thought that was so insightful. I love that. And these guys are working on very little food and stuff. I mean, they're like, I feel like what they're doing is pretty amazing, considering where they are physically and mentally too, because it's taxing. I know it's only 26 days, but I mean, still it's big. But I thought that was really clever of her, the way she pulled that information out of Tiana without really divulging that much herself.
So Rachel, Tiana, and Gabe are pretty much the ones that are in the most danger here. I put an arrow to Rachel pitching the girls thing, but I put a question mark. So maybe it was Rachel that pitched the girls thing?
I can't remember.
I put a question mark. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it wasn't clear.
I think it was Rachel. That's what I remember right now. It was Rachel. So I think it was Rachel.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
So I said, I was thinking maybe that Tiana is going to leak that Sue has an idol, and maybe this could be an opportunity to blindside Sue, because I mean, we know that Tiana doesn't know how close Sue is with Gabe, but I could see Gabe being a little irritated that his number one girl, Sue, didn't let him know, as far as we know anyways, about this idol that she found. And so I thought that when, I think it was 2 episodes ago, when we saw Tiana being like, oh, wait, Sue had blood on her, and had that realization that maybe Sue has something, I thought that there was going to be some fruit to that revelation, but she didn't use it. But I thought at this point that she might use it.
But here's the thing, though. She does not know 100% that Sue has it. All she knows is that she saw Sue, with some red on her face and so forth. But she has not gone to Sue and said, hey, I know you got the idol. So it's not been confirmed yet at this point. So if she went to anybody and said, hey, Sue's got an idol, she doesn't know that she's got an idol. She could have something else, maybe. I don't know, but she doesn't know 100%.
I was just saying, like, putting that suspicion on, being like, well, I did see Sue with that red paint all over her, and remember when they were all running around on the beach, they all discovered the red paint. They realized when Genevie found the advantage that the red paint must mean something else. I was just thinking that she would maybe use the fact that Sue may have something to her advantage at this point, to save herself, at least.
Who are you saying that she would have told that to?
To the tribe, a tribal council, maybe. To Gabe specifically.
Do you think Gabe would have believed her?
I potentially being like Gabe, I could see going and maybe asking Sue. I mean, like, Tiana said this, and then Sue being like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything. I just see that I could see maybe Gabe being upset that Sue didn't tell him all the information. I just thought it would stir something up. It's information, it's currency, and people get upset.
We can leave that to Caroline to do. Because Caroline knows that Sue has it.
Exactly. And so if it was brought up in a public place, like, who's going to be lying about it? Who's going to maybe admit that they know something more? Like, I mean, I guess Tiana didn't know how much trouble she was actually in, but I was speculating that maybe she would use this to her advantage because, she like maybe gets Sue out instead of Rachel, right? So Kate says, did we ever see if Sue even had the idol with her? Well, she said that she put it in her bag. Remember, she re-cleaned it and then put it back in her bag, I'm assuming. So I would think that she would have it.
But no, I don't know if she would put it in her bag because she's thinking, hey, they're going to search her bag. She'd probably put it in some place where.
Oh, wait, they're on her beach. So yeah, I guess she could, but you kind of want to bring everything to challenges and stuff like that in case so I guess that's what Kate's saying is she might not have brought it from the beach to the challenge since they didn't go back to their beach before tribal. So interesting.
Oh, okay.
I mean, come on. After last season, who's going to go to tribal without an idol? At least you have to have it in your pocket if you don't play it, but come on.
And a few seasons before, did you watch the season with Matt and Franny?
I don't
think so.
Jam, I think that's 44.
We missed a few.
Well, that season, it was at the same time, I believe, where they did 12 people not fully merged or merged, half merged. They split into two. There was a winning tribe, losing tribe. Winners got to watch the losers tribal council, I think how it went, or they both went to tribal, I can't remember. And the one person that kind of got swap screwed did not bring his advantage or idol, whatever it was, and he ended up going home because he just didn't have the opportunity to.
He didn't have it with him.
He didn't have it with him.
He couldn't say, hey.
So yeah, he didn't have a shot in the dark.
1 second. I do have an idol, but it's not here with me, but I do want to play it.
He couldn't do that. And he didn't have a shot in the dark as well. 44 Kate's remind me of. Oh, they went back to camp? Okay. Thanks, Hales. Hales also says it made me realize that Gabe hasn't really had the chance to socialize outside of Tuku, other than the G Daddy deduced secret scene here. Okay.
No, I did that secret scene. Yeah, that was outside of Tuku. Yes.
So that would be really hard though too. Okay, well, we're going to get into how this annoyed me as well. So Blue and Kyle. So yeah, the blue team. So that's Genevieve, Sierra, Teeny, Saul, Andy, and Sam. They've all made it to jury, as well as Kyle, who has immunity. And so Blue now, like they get to bond with Lavo. There's 3 and 3. They get to bond. They get to have food. Sam is feeling bad for Rachel here. He's hoping that the 6 of them at least here are going to be able to vote together. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Sam says, like, I want us to vote together. If the 5 original Tuku stay together, then we will have the numbers, 6 of us, to be able to just take them out. And Genevieve says, well, yeah, okay, if they stay together. Like, she did not want to say yes 100%, like, no matter what, which I thought was interesting. And I wonder if that was left in there intentionally. Did you notice that, Sheila?
Production. They drop these little seeds but I think that she's just, you know what? It's like she's keeping it close to her vest. She's not, divulging what she's just really being close to her vest and very quietly talking to Andy, Saul. Like she's a very elegant player. Tiana was like a bull in a china shop. Like, Gabe, let's get rid of Gabe. Like she stood on top of the mountain and screamed it. Genevieve is like very elegant, very like quiet.
She's the Velvet Hammer, I'd say.
Yeah, she's stealth. She's stealth.
We'll see when she comes out, and like you won't see it coming. Velvet Hammer coming to snipe somebody. So they're thinking that there's going to be a clue maybe at the reward. We haven't really seen clues at reward challenges that often. It used to be a trope for a long time, and then we hadn't seen it for a little while. I don't even remember the last time we've seen it. It might have been recently, but I don't remember. And so there is an advantage of some sort hidden in a little hot on a post type thing. And Teeny suspects this, which is great. Teeny's doing a lot of narrating. That's one of the reasons why I'm curious about, I think she's going to have some longevity, because the last person that did a lot of narrating was Tevin. And I think he got not as deep as I thought that he would, but he definitely got pretty deep into the game.
Which one? Who? Do
you remember Tevin? On
the guy that's being who's running again? I don't want to go political here, but the guy that is pretending that he's here, is that guy? The guy that's pretending is Kamala?
I don't know who.
Is that Tevin? Okay.
Kamala.
Anyhow, doing Kamala impressions.
Oh, I have not seen this. This is more
the guy that was at the show that you did in New York was wearing the yellow suit. On stage.
Oh yeah, he was wearing a yellow suit. You're
on the right track.
He didn't get that far in that season.
But he made it. I thought he was going to go like further for sure. I was like with him narrating the whole beginning, and so that's kind of why I'm like, I don't know if Teeny's going to win, because she's doing a lot of narrating. But he made it pretty deep into the game. Though I thought like maybe 7th, 6th. Oh, cameos. You're on it. Wow, I don't even know this. Hale's like, yes, he does cameos as Kamala.
Yeah, okay.
The reason I say that is because I saw Saturday Night Live last night when they showed Kamala on that, and I don't know the actress's name, but that was
Maya Rudolph.
Maya, that was an
So
excellent
funny.
impressions that she did. Like we were cracking up on that one. It was great. Did you see it?
I saw clips, but I taped Saturday Night Live, so I haven't watched the whole episode.
We only watched the clip. It wasn't. We didn't watch the whole thing. It was just a clip, but it was hilarious. And then I just thought of him, and I thought, yeah, he does a great Kamala as well. So, yeah.
I haven't seen it. Okay, I'm gonna go and look for this now, though. That's hilarious.
I want to say something real quick in regards to where we are right now.
Mhm.
I felt like I was my mother on like Granny, right? I felt like I was Granny on this because here I was, like Andy's right there, Saul's there. Andy goes and he was gonna, start looking. He went a little bit soon, too early, I should say, because people weren't, comatose from the food yet. So he went a little bit too soon. But I'm there, Andy, turn around, get it, turn around, go, it's right there, turn around, Andy, go, it's right there, turn around. And so I felt like my mother when my mother and I used to watch shows, and she'd be there. Don't go in there. Don't go. That's exactly how I was on that show.
Sheila, he was audibly yelling at the TV for Andy to try to assist Andy in his search for the advantage.
Yeah, it's like when we watch hockey, I'm the audible. Okay, I'm like the loud yeller, screamer, jumper. That's me. David just sits quietly. Goal happens. He does, he doesn't even move. I'm there like, we gotta go. We gotta go.
How's Mimi?
Like I'm like intense.
All of her swag, Mimi.
Yeah,
so
Mimi has on her swag. She barks
when
there's a goal. Yeah, so Mimi does bark when there's a goal.
Yeah. But David was intense during Survivor. I was like, wow, we're seeing. Wow.
No, because Andy was Andy. I wanted him to find that thing. That would have been great.
Maybe you need to start filming these little segments of you watching so that we can show your reactions. Like I could play your.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
He was like, yes, it will.
Not gonna happen.
Sure. I'm gonna teach the dog how to do it. Put strap a camera on her and have it filming, and he won't even know. It'll be perfect. Mimi cam.
So I have to say though, so when Andy started looking, I was like, okay, Andy, maybe a little bit too soon, but like maybe he'll find it and it'll be fine. Wow. But the fact that Sierra like just outs him like that, and like you hear in her confessional being like, he's sloppy. Like I was working with him for this number, whatever beforehand. We saw that she wasn't protective of him in that first vote, being the backup there. I think that it's really not great gameplay on Sierra's part for her to immediately like flip on Andy here. Like, if Andy finds this advantage, it's going to help you out in the game. Why would you want him to not find it? Anyways, you're agreeing, G-Daddy?
I'm agreeing with you, but I just think that Sierra and Sam have turned on Andy.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Bottom line, they've already turned on Andy. He's not part of their crew anymore.
They put his name out.
Yeah. So that's what I see.
I agree that they must have turned on him, but I think it's bad gameplay at the merge to turn on someone, especially like Andy, who could be a little bit of a loose cannon at times. And so it's probably better for you to keep him close and then to know where this advantage is going if he does find it. I just thought it was bad gameplay, in my opinion.
Totally agree.
Agreed.
So Gabe wants to put all the votes on Rachel because, but he wants to convince Rachel that, you know what, it's not going to be you because they don't want her to play the shot in the dark. And so he wants to bring Rachel into the plan. Tiana also wants to bring Rachel into the plan, but I believe that Tiana's plan is real. So she's saying like, I've been wanting Gabe out for a long time. I think that I can she talks to Kyle. Kyle is somebody that says like, yep, I'm into this. So we think, and now that she goes to Caroline, and this was the conversation you were thinking was great, Sheila, that, she goes to Caroline and we're just brainstorming here. We're just talking. And Caroline completely just backs down, makes Tiana back off of the Gabe vote and is like, no, I don't think that that's the right direction to go. I was impressed with Caroline being able to move the needle on where Tiana was planning on going. It was impressive. Not gonna lie. did you see the scene with all the bats? I got the heebie-jeebies when I saw like all the bats that were flying, and then they're all just hanging there. Like there's just like thousands of bats. So I guess that's why they're called Becca. But yeah, it was really gross.
And that's why the
We have a
idols
lot
of
of bats here. I don't know if you've seen it. We have a lot of bats here.
Really,
So,
I've
yeah,
not noticed.
No, every night or in
At
the well,
dusk.
every night at dusk, and we're walking the dog a little late. Tons of bats are flying around our heads and so forth.
Really?
Yeah,
Um,
every
in
night.
in Vancouver, there's a lot of crows, and that's also really like that. Oh
Creepy.
yeah, you know the crows, right? Like at dusk, especially in East Vancouver, there was just like thousands and thousands of crows everywhere. And when I was in Italy, thousands and thousands of crows. Like I actually was scared. Like I was hiding
The
in like
bird.
little vestibules of stores because I'm like all I see was like bat shit everywhere, or no, sorry, crow shit like everywhere. I'm just like I don't want to get involved in this like this crow shit rainstorm. So yeah,
Yeah,
it was
we when we go for walks with the dog, Sheila,
umbrella.
myself, and Mimi, we all wear caps to make sure we don't get any bat crap on us or caught in our hair. Right.
Yeah, gross. I mean, is that still considered good luck getting bat shit on you? Like kind of like a bird?
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
But we will say it does. It will say it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, then maybe you don't want to wear the hat. Then you're in Vegas, so you know
Bring it
maybe
on.
you're just like covered in bat poop. You're gonna go win some money.
But I'm lucky. I'm covered in bat poop, but I'm lucky.
Exactly.
Right.
So Saul also goes looking, and he does see the secret scroll, and he slips it down his butt crack, which is what people have been joking about. Like,
I want to know.
That's where I
Rachel
thought
had
Sue's
any
idol
idea?
was.
If Rachel had any
That's
idea
where
where
she
that
didn't want to keep
was,
it in her purse. I thought that Sue's idol might have been in the same place.
really?
Anyhow,
So
this is
back over
hilarious.
at Blue trying to, or not Blue, at Yellow trying to figure out how this vote is going to go down. Caroline thinks that Rachel is the glue. She's the one that she likes the most out of all the gatas, and so this is one of the reasons why she thinks that Rachel is the person that should be going out at this time. She also says to Tiana, which I thought was smart, was like, okay, yeah, if they're coming for Tuku, they're not coming for us first. They're coming for the Gabes. They're coming for the Kyles. Like, they're not going to come for us first. So even if we go back 5 Tuku strong, we're not going to be necessarily their first choice of Tukus that they're going to take out. I was like, you know what? She's probably right. And Caroline would probably be the last one out of all those. So she probably is like, I don't care here. Like, everybody else will probably go out before me on Tuku if they just pick us off one by one. So we see Becca playing baseball, and then we see Saul going off to read this clue, and we find out that it's take your pick advantage. So it's either a block a vote or a safety without power that he has to give somebody on the team that's going to tribal council. So block a vote. Okay, so you can take someone's vote and give it to somebody else's, I think is how that works. It's not really that effective, I don't think. And so obviously you're going to do safety without power. But the person that receives it is the one that gets to choose which one they're going to use. And so safety without power is that they just get to leave tribal council. They will not be able to vote on who's going, but they are going to be safe. I'll be like, I'm out of here. You guys deal with that. See ya. So we get to tribal council. Was there anything that happened before tribal that I'm forgetting?
Well, yeah, I was a little confused on how, and Sheila, you schooled me on this, on how they actually got that note to Rachel, because, well, I mean, I didn't realize that, hey, probably production brought it in. Hey, you've got, real, not tree mail, but here, and handed it to her. How did she end up getting that note? Is what I was really confused about. Like, how did they get it to her? Because they went straight from there to tribal, right?
And did they, if because it said in the advantage that you will send this to the person that you want to, so I guess it was the production was involved in him transmitting that note to Rachel. But Was Rachel told who sent it to her? Like, does she know who gave that to her, or did it just appear?
She doesn't know, but this is where the second scene came from, is that once she got it, she was I'm deducing. When she got it, I gotta look up what deducing actually means here. I feel like
You're
I'm
super
Sherlock
sleuthing,
Holmes
babe. You're super sleuthing.
Sherlock. We'll change my name to G Sherlock. But hey, but here's the thing. In that secret scene, she definitely took that that note and went around to Tiana and shared it with her that we have it, which could have been a big mistake at that point, because then Tiana could have called her out saying she had it, but it would have been too late. So, but that was the note. When she got it, she ran and she was sharing it. And I think it was just with Tiana that she shared that she had that with. So Tiana actually knew she had it with. And that was the second scene.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second scene, the secret scenes, but I did hear that is what happened. That it was only Tiana that was told by Rachel, and she didn't share it with anybody, presumably because she thought that people were going to vote out Gabe. So she didn't think that it was going to be something that mattered to her, because she thought that it was going to be consensus. At that point, because I think that she was going into tribal thinking that it was going to be Rachel, but I think that when she saw the note, that she thought that they would have put the votes on Gabe, as I think is what she'd said. I think so. I think that's what she said. Alibi here says, or Albie, Rachel said that she found the note in her bag right before tribal. So yeah, I think that the production just would have slipped it into her bag.
So she doesn't know where it came from. No. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she has no idea.
So this is going to be so fun to see how this plays out with Saul, because he hasn't fessed up to it.
Do you think that he should?
I don't know. Like, I mean, they know it's one of them, right? They know it came from someone there.
Well, what about with his acting skills, Sheila? So we get to tribal council, and they did a lot of talking about, like, basically making it seem like Rachel's the one that's going home, and just like a whole long tribal council. But then when it was time to vote, we see Rachel say that somebody from the winning tribe sent this to me. I found it in my bag, and I'm going to be leaving tribal council. So you saw Saul's face was like, oh. But I don't know if I believed him, but did you think that he did a good acting job?
Who are you talking to? Sheila, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that he had his back to everyone. I don't know how much they saw other than him like looking around like, oh. But he's going to have to, I mean, I feel like it's going to come out when they all get back to the beach. I mean, there's going to be some sort of a confession. Yeah, I got it. And I don't know, like, should he have discussed it with those 6 to talk about who they should give it to? Should he have done that? Or was he okay and just doing it himself quietly, irregardless of everyone else making that decision? So I don't know if that's going to come back and blow back for him, or if they're going to say, oh, that's who we would have agreed on. I don't know. I'm not sure how that dynamics are going to go. I don't
know. We'll get to Hills in a second here, because I definitely want to hear what she's meaning by that. But I thought with that, and based on should he have revealed it, absolutely not. If you're playing Survivor, I don't understand Survivor right now, where you go and you win an idol and you tell everybody, hey guys, I got an idol. Like I don't get it, that they're sharing all of this information, any advantage that they get, anything that they discover, they're sharing it with everybody. It's like it's a community Survivor type thing. It's weird. So, and you asked that question, I don't think he should say it. I think he should keep his acting saying, I don't know. I mean, and stay at that, and have everybody thinking it was the other person, and just leave it at that. No one knows. Everyone's being, was it you? Was it you? I think that they should have left it at that.
I have to agree.
Pardon? I said he should leave it at that.
I agree. And another thing that kind of happens when you do something for somebody else that they didn't ask you to do, it becomes a little bit icky. If Saul was like, hey, I was the one that sent you that advantage and I saved you and I kept your life in this game. Like Rachel might be like, well, I guess I owe you now. Like it could put her in that, like, yes, she'll be grateful, absolutely. But this forced gratitude, it might make her not feel the best about Saul. So
she might get the ick.
Exactly. Just be like, oh, like, I mean, thank you, but like, I don't really want to owe you anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just might be a little bit of an icky feeling. Absolutely. And I think it would probably be best. A few other people, I think it was Rob that was also saying this, that, he should save it if he gets to the final tribal council and be like, it was me that was saving Rachel here, and use it as currency at the end of the game, as opposed to within the game, where I think that Rachel might be like, yeah, thanks, but I don't really want to feel like I owe you something. So
he's trying to guilt her into a vote.
You know what I mean? Well, maybe. Oh, yeah. At final tribal, I think you can do it, but beforehand, I think it's bad.
Yeah.
So Hale's saying that if she withheld the other advantage option, so the fact that she could choose between safety without power or whatever, block a vote, and so if she talks to people about what the advantage was, and if somebody were to slip up, Saul, and say like something, so maybe she will be able to trick them into finding out who did it for her. But is what I think Hales is saying here. So we do hear the episode title by Tiana saying, "You just put our Pickle on blast, Jeff," meaning that their predicament, basically, just like out and out their predicament that Rachel's here, and well, this was before she left, but Rachel's here and there's 5 Tukus. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you going to vote out Rachel and make it the easy vote, but you'll then go back to the group with having 5 strong, and that might look pretty tempting for the other 6 people to vote out. Is there anything else you want to say about how this tribal went down? Because what's her name? Rachel leaves the game. Now it's going to be the five Tukus here, and we're kind of transporting back into time before the merge happens to if Tuku went to tribal again, what would potentially happen? We see Tiana sitting there talking to Jeff while everybody behind her is starting to chat. And then she gets up and, Jeff loves a live tribal. So there's a live tribal happening where everybody's kind of talking and whispering. What were your thoughts, Dad, about like who was going to actually go home? Did you think it was going to be Gabe? Did you think it was going to be Tiana? Did you think it was going to be somebody else?
No, I definitely thought it was going to be Tiana. I can't tell you why, but I was hoping that it was going to be Tiana, and it was. So yeah.
Sheila, you too? Like, did you have any thoughts that it might be Gabe?
I figured it would be but I didn't know. I really didn't. I figured it would be because she was just too much Gabe. I mean, she just dug her own grave, I feel like, or dug her own demise there. She was not where Genevieve is elegant and not as like overt. Tiana, I felt, was just too aggressive with it. So, I think that it was hard for her to recover from that. But an interesting thing that I came across, and I didn't do as much super sleuthing this week, I will admit.
Do you have a segment, Sheila?
Oh, Sheila's sleuthing, so it's you that's doing that. I'm wondering who's putting up G Daddy's deducing. So it's you.
Sleuthing. Okay. Was that Jeff and Charlie from last season had a discussion about how the players are using the advantages this season. And Jeff's a little upset because everyone's taking the easy way out by Rachel just, I'm out of here, and not having to vote and like walking away from it and washing her hands of it and saying, I'm free, I'm out. They want to see them be more strategic with this advantage. And I'm not sure what Rachel would have done in that situation had she gone that route.
So Charlie on the On Fire podcast with Jeff was saying that they wish that Rachel chose the other option to do the more strategically interesting play. Yeah. Well, then don't give her the other option.
I know they're feeling like the players are taking that's the easy way out. Well, I don't have to vote. I'm out of here.
The whole advantage is an easy way out. Like.
No. Anyway, that was just something that came up I'm thinking, well, then you have to present it to them and give them a different option. Like, you don't want them to choose the easy one, then don't give it to them.
I just be like, you know what? With the way these numbers shook out, I'm not going to risk it here. I'm out of here. Like, if you're going to give them these luck-based things, they're going to be like, you know what? I'm not going to play my luck here and do the stupid option. I'm going to cut my losses and I'm going to get out of here. Like, why would she stay in it?
Who's going to say, oh, no, wait, I'm not going to save myself. Let me throw myself into the fray and risk my entire game. Like, no, I mean, I don't. So I kind of didn't really understand what they were saying, because I think that's a high expectation of the players to do that.
I mean, especially with having the option, I think it could have been interesting for her to maybe gain some power in the game and have a little bit more agency as to who got voted out. If she was selective with who she stole the vote from. So maybe she stole Gabe's vote and she used that vote to take out somebody else that was, I don't know, like what she could have done that would have been better, but it wasn't an option. Like, she didn't really know how this was going to go down. They hadn't strategized on the beach for the afternoon to figure out how to use this appropriately. Like, last minute at tribal council, I have the option. I'm out of here. I didn't have time to think about it. Like,
I felt like they were like giving them a hard time, and high expectations. Anyway,
that actually irritates me. So annoying. Like, come on. And what also really frustrated me about this vote is the fact that, so there's 12 people on this merged beach, Becca, right? Half the tribe is safe. So that's 6 people that have immunity that are not, and they're not voting for this round. And then we also have Kyle here winning immunity. So that's 7 people out of 12 unable to vote. And then we have Rachel like leaving here as well. So that's 8 people out of 12 are not eligible to be voted out of this game when they have merged. And there's only 4 people that are going to be controlling this vote. I think yes, I think that Tiana made a lot of mistakes. And I think that she might have been able to position herself better or have better relationships. Absolutely. But she really drew the short straw here with the fact that she's one of 4 to be voted out. There's an alliance of 2, or like with Caroline and Sue, that she didn't know was working with Gabe, but was. And then, we have Kyle here, who's a man that we now learned that Gabe has talked to about, like, we got to keep the men strong here. And so it's not really in his best interest to vote Gabe out. And so the only real option is Tiana in this group of 5 people voting, 4 people that are eligible. So I just thought that her odds really sucked when she got to a merged beach. If everybody was voting and everybody except for one was up for grabs, I think she would have had a better shot at staying in the game.
Yeah. And hey, if it's not your name, you're down with it.
Well, not according to Jeff. You'd be like, no, you should go and throw yourself in and be part of the vote. Like
it's like when someone else's name is thrown out, it's like, I go with that. Like, I mean, come on, everyone's going to do that.
It's not me, right? As long as it's not me.
Yeah.
He says, live to see another day. Absolutely. Like, sorry, Jeff. If you give us the option, we're taking it and we're out of there. So, yes, the vote goes down. Gabe only gets 1 vote. That's from Tiana. Everybody else chooses Tiana to leave the game. She's very upset. She does the look back, which seems to be a pattern for the people that have been leaving for the last 3, I think, the look back. So we see Rome kind of does a look back. We see Annika does the look back. We saw Asia do the look back, and so people have been very upset.
They're definitely surprised. How could you guys vote me out?
I mean, I knew she was going. I don't know how she didn't know she was going, but
I never knew that they, like, when you get voted out, that everybody starts crying now.
I would cry.
You would cry?
I think so.
You would cry in front of the cameras, really?
I think so.
Babe, you would cry. You cry at Waterboy. You would bawl, babe. You'd be like,
I would. I would actually. The team voted me out. I'd be done.
Well, especially if you did not think
they voted you out. Like,
team,
that's like team.
I'm not part of the team anymore.
Yeah, you'd be so sad. And like Look at what they've been through. I mean, like sand in all the crevices. That's the price you pay, and then you went through all that, and then your team votes you out. It's sad.
Yeah, they don't want to play with you anymore, and like you thought that you
you
had
guys got a
friends
good
and
point.
people.
You guys got a good point.
It's sad. I'd cry,
and it's also like you're losing your shot at $1 million. You're not making jury. Like Gabe,
that part would be sad. I'm totally out of the game now. I'm what we call the bubble. She's a bubble girl because she didn't make the jury.
And so there's Jeff like rubbing the salt. You're not going to make the merge. You're not going to make the jury. All your hard work. I mean, Jeff just made them feel like if you're voted out tonight, you're like the biggest loser.
Bubble girl. If you're bubble,
like,
is that a term that you know, Chantele? Bubble?
Like what? Like on the bubble? Like
bubble boy or bubble girl.
Oh, bubble like doesn't have anything.
Nothing to do with the bubble. I don't know where it came from, but you're right there, but you're not there. So you're right on the
bubble.
Right on the edge of it. You're on the bubble. You're on this side of the success, or you're on this side of the group. It's like poker. This is a poker term.
A poker term.
Where you're out on the bubble right before the money starts coming. Like you're going to make money. So they might have say the top 10 people get paid. Well, the 11th person that gets voted out is the bubble boy or bubble girl.
I've heard of it, but now I kind of understand.
Like the Olympics, the 4th person is the bubble person.
Got it. Yeah. So Jamie said it's not even 4. So not even 4 people, 3 people, because Sue had an idol. So if Sue wanted to use an idol, she could have to save somebody. So really, it was 1 in 3 for Tiana here. That really blows.
That's where they could have, if they really had that alliance with Sue, Caroline, and if Sue wanted to flip the script at that point, she could have used her idol to save
Tiana.
Well, she's not a friend with Tiana at all, but yeah.
But anyhow,
that would have been great, but I think that Tiana didn't realize that Sue couldn't stand her and like was completely working against her. Yeah. So that's it for this episode, unless there's something I forgot to mention or we forgot to talk about.
Well, just who you thought was the standout, which we all know what Sheila's going to say. So
MVP.
Am I really that predictable? Come on.
What are you going to say?
Genevieve, of course.
I don't know if she was a standout this episode.
She won the challenge for her team. Come on.
But and then she also doesn't look like she's the challenge beast because it was both her and Teeny. They didn't have to outlast each other. And so it didn't really expose her being super strong necessarily. We haven't heard anybody talk about that. So that's good. Do you have any other thoughts?
I'm just looking here. Rachel. Obviously a standout because she ended up receiving that and saved herself, and she's back in the game now. So yeah, I thought that was great with Rachel. How about you?
I'm thinking Rachel because she came out of that situation. Like I know that it was Saul that helped her here, but I think the fact that she managed to say, like, I have to give her MVP here. Like that's pretty incredible.
And I got to say Saul as well is number 2 for me because he was able to find the idol where no one's. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Kate. He was able to find the idol or not the idol, but found the note and he slipped to the right person, to be able to stir things up there and get rid of some of the tuku. So I thought that he did a good play on that as well.
So, and Andy is embodied with the Andy as well. So I think that he has an edge over Genevieve this week. I think Saul would be over Genevieve this week. Sorry, Sheila.
No, that's fine. You're right, because I always just go to her, but yeah, there are standouts. I agree.
I think even Caroline played pretty well.
Yeah.
For the fact that she seemingly was lying to Tiana this whole time. Like even with that whole let's not do Gabe right now. But I think that she thought that Caroline was going to vote with her and vote out Gabe. And so Caroline did a great job of making it seem like that's what she was doing. So Caroline was also pretty impressive. So I might have to give the edge to Caroline, actually.
I think you're right. I'm changing my vote.
All right, Caroline, it is that it's going to be Caroline.
2-1. Okay. Caroline Genevieve alliance.
I got to say Andy though as well. So Andy, the fact that he, knows where he was positioned, and now he's transitioned now to the puppet master, and he's now controlling the game and drawing that stuff out and bringing in Genevieve and so on and so forth. So I think there's something going on there with Andy where he's now not just going along, and we're going to see if this happens, because up until now he was going along, and I think that there's now a transition to him becoming a leader. Yes, Andy.
Well, Andy's becoming a leader. He is a
Wow.
Leo. Leos are is he a Leo? Yeah, he's a Leo. I'm gonna the hair, the mane. And you know, Leos are lions, the leader of the jungle. And so yeah, maybe we're gonna see him roar. Okay, well, that's it, everybody. Thank you for being here in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with me to chat about this episode. It was a fun time. Any last things to say before we sign off? Say two?
Not for me, other than
Any
see
plugs?
you next week.
Next week.
And next week, I think Angelique's going to be in town. I'm not sure if she's going to be available.
She could be. She could sit here with me or down there with you or on her own computer.
She'll be on her own somewhere. Yeah. So she's going to be here at the house next week, Sunday. She'll be here in the house. Okay, so maybe it'll be 4 of us next week. So
fun.
She's always got some great insights.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, I look forward to that. Hopefully you guys in the chat looks forward to this as well. Hold on. Lastly here, JB says, how do we feel about Gabe saying to Kyle, we can control Sue and Caroline, but we can't control Tiana, so let's put her out. It's true. It's true. I mean, I don't know if it's true that they could actually control Caroline and Sue, but definitely more than Tiana. Tiana is kind of pushing her own agenda. Tiana, she said in some of her exit interviews that she wanted to appear like she was a free agent. And she said, this is actually important that she said that she was, even though the votes were going to be all for Rachel, she was planning on still putting a vote on Gabe to make it look like there was still some dissension within Tuku, and so that she would appear to be a free agent. And so that shows that she's not necessarily as controllable, in my opinion. So, I mean, Gabe's kind of right there. Unfortunately,
that's just the bros talking, though. The bros think that they, can control the women.
Right. I don't know if he can actually control.
They have no idea. They have no idea what they're doing.
Definitely not Tiana. Definitely.
Well, Gabe's pretty lucky that Kyle did not go to Caroline and Sue and say, "Hey, Gabe said that he can control you guys."
Oh, so yeah.
Or
that would have been a disaster.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster. Or there was another thing that was said that would have been a disaster as well. I can't remember. Kate says, I predict Caroline bites Gabe's head off one of these days. Maybe.
Oh,
I don't think I want to see it. I feel like Gabe is not long for this game, because I don't know if you've seen some of the conversations that are happening, but there's a little bit of fighting going on with some of these players. So Gabe, in kind of like how Rome says, hi, good morning, RHAP, when he snuffed Asia's torch. And so he shows that, like, had a video being like, good morning, our HAP, like RHAP. So that's our community that's supporting Asia. And so we thought it was a bit of a troll moment. And so Gabe did something similar, talking about, is it morning yet in Hawaii? And Tiana was like, did not take that very lightly. And so they had a little bit of a back and forth there. And then Gabe also had some back and forth with Rome, being like, Rome saying like, oh, you have so much lip basically in your confessionals, but you're not man enough to say to people's face or whatever. And Gabe's like, well, you were saying it out loud to everybody, and look where you're sitting. And so they had another back and forth there between them too. I just feel like that's not winner energy, right? To be kind of barking back and forth, in my opinion. So I feel like Gabe is out next, or the one after.
But listen, I feel like the bros, like the Sams and the Gabes and the Kyles, are going to start getting, targets, because, they're good at challenges and so forth. So I feel like, the girls might, the girls just might.
I mean, I could very easily see the next two people being Gabe and Kyle going out of the game.
The guys, as long as they don't win immunity, they're up for grabs, I think.
The strong guys that can
that's one of the things that no one's talking about, is the fact that Kyle has won, what, 3 immunities now?
I think it's
Yeah.
2 in a row. I think.
Yeah.
Is it 2 in a row, but a 3 overall or something like that? Is it 2 in a row? Is that what it is?
They've only been merged for 2, or like
Okay.
there's only been 2 individuals so
Yeah.
far.
Okay. So
But
we'll
Tuku only lost once, so there's that.
Okay.
JB says your family is so lovely. Thank you for your podcast. Have a great week. Well, have a great week to you too, JB, and everybody else here in the chat. Thank you for being in the chat, because we love doing these lives so we can participate in these conversations with everybody, having a conversation. It makes things fun. Thank you both for being here. And I guess we'll see everybody. We'll be +1. We're still missing 2 Francis kids, or 3. I don't know if Kristen would ever come on, but we'll have 1 more for us. So we'll be 4 Francises.
I wonder if she watches it. I'm not sure if she watches it.
I'll ask her.
Yeah.
Well, till next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.